Hello and welcome to Avenue of Words. Today's video isn't just about improving your English. Today's video is about transformation. Your transformation, your potential, your future. Before we begin, I need you to listen carefully. Please don't skip ahead. No one will force you to change your life. No one will make you develop better habits. The harsh reality? No one is waiting for you to succeed. When you waste day after day scrolling on your phone, binge-watching shows, or sleeping until noon, the world continues turning. Great achievements are being made while you're standing still. Life doesn't give special treatment. It's challenging. For everyone, not just you. The difference? Some people use those challenges to fuel their growth, while others use them as excuses to remain stagnant. If you keep embracing the victim mindset, transformation will always remain just beyond your reach. Today, I'm going to show you how to harness the incredible power of daily habits to completely transform your life, step by step. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why small, consistent actions create massive change and how to implement this system in your own life. I'll share authentic, practical examples, not empty motivation that fades by tomorrow. This approach will also enhance your English listening comprehension and help you grasp how native speakers express complex ideas. So stay with me until the end. Let's begin. 1. Information overwhelm paralysis. We live in the age of endless information. Open TikTok, countless videos. Check Twitter, thousands of opinions. Browse YouTube, unlimited tutorials. You want to start exercising, so you research best workout routines. One expert recommends HIIT, another swears by strength training. Someone else advocates for calisthenics. Another person says, just dance every day. What happens? Your mind becomes overwhelmed. You spend hours consuming content about fitness without moving your body for even 5 minutes. Your brain exhausts itself thinking about doing rather than actually doing. Here's the solution. Choose one approach and begin. Don't aim for perfection. Don't consume endless content before taking action. Simply start. Taking one small, imperfect action today outweighs knowing 100 perfect theories and implementing none of them. 2. Energize your body. Empower your mind. Sometimes what feels like laziness is actually depleted physical energy. Let me ask you, what have you been putting into your body lately? Are you hydrated? Are you consuming nutritious foods or surviving on processed snacks and caffeine? When you consistently fuel your body with low-quality inputs, your energy crashes. Your thinking becomes foggy. Motivation seems impossible to find. Start with fundamentals. Drink water first thing in the morning. Incorporate protein and vegetables into each meal. Eat regular, balanced meals. Your body is your vehicle through life. Without proper maintenance, even the simplest journey becomes exhausting. Remember this formula. Properly nourished body. Energized mind. Consistent action. 3. The power of micro-commitments. Many people fail before they begin because they set overwhelming targets. They tell themselves, I need to study for 3 hours straight, or I must deep clean the entire apartment, or I have to write 5,000 words today. Your brain immediately resists these massive tasks, so instead of doing something, you do nothing at all. But what if you rethink your approach? Tell yourself, I'll study for just 10 minutes. I'll only clean the kitchen counter. I'll write just 200 words. These micro-commitments feel manageable. Your brain says, yes, I can handle that. And once you begin, momentum builds naturally. Small victories generate positive energy. Consider brushing your teeth. You don't agonize over it each morning. You simply do it because it's a small, manageable task that's become automatic. Apply this principle everywhere. Tiny, consistent actions compound dramatically over time. 4. Design a realistic routine. A common mistake is creating an unsustainable ideal routine. You write it out. Wake at 4:30 a.m. Meditate for 45 minutes. Exercise for 90 minutes. Work with perfect focus for 8 hours. Read for 2 hours. Sleep precisely at 9:30 p.m. Sounds impressive on paper. But in reality, you might follow it for a day or two before crashing. Then comes guilt, shame, and abandonment of the entire system. What you truly need is a sustainable approach that acknowledges your actual life circumstances. Perhaps, wake at 6:30 a.m. 2 minutes of deep breathing, 20 minutes of movement, 30 minutes of focused work before distractions begin. Realistic, nutritious meals, asleep by 11 p.m. This might not sound as impressive, but here's what matters. You can actually maintain it. Achievement isn't about perfect adherence for 3 days. It's about imperfect consistency for 3 years. 5. Desires versus feelings. The critical distinction. This insight can revolutionize your approach if you truly internalize it. Most people orient their days around momentary feelings rather than deeper desires. Let me explain. You feel like hitting snooze, so you skip your morning routine. You feel like ordering takeout, so you abandon your nutrition plan. You feel like watching just one more episode, so you neglect your creative project. But what do you truly desire? You want vibrant health. You want financial freedom. You want to master a valuable skill. You want to build something meaningful. The gap between fleeting feelings and genuine desires determines your life trajectory. Those who consistently prioritize comfort make decisions that feel good momentarily, but lead to long-term regret. Those who prioritize growth make decisions that might feel challenging now, but create lasting satisfaction. Imagine, you wake up early to exercise. Initially, it feels uncomfortable. Your body resists. But afterward, you feel energized, accomplished, proud. That positive feeling lasts all day. When tempted by momentary comfort, ask yourself, will this choice align with who I want to become? This simple question transforms decision-making. 6. Your environment shapes your actions. Your habits don't exist in isolation. They're profoundly influenced by your surroundings. Look around your living space right now. Is it organized or chaotic? Is it designed to facilitate productivity or distraction? Your environment directly impacts your mental state. A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. A disorganized room generates disorganized thinking. A space filled with distractions produces distracted behavior. Think about walking into a clean, organized cafe. The atmosphere feels inviting. You naturally want to sit down and engage with meaningful work. Now imagine entering a room with dishes piled high, clothes scattered everywhere, papers covering every surface. The environment itself drains your motivation before you've even begun a task. Your physical space programs your actions. Organizing your environment is an investment in your future behavior. It's telling yourself, I deserve a setting that supports my goals. Take action. Spend 10 minutes each evening resetting your primary spaces. Make your bed each morning. Clear your workspace before beginning important tasks. Remove obvious distractions from your environment. These small environmental adjustments yield outsized returns in productivity and well-being. 7. Emotional anchors. Releasing the weight. Many struggle not from lack of desire, but from carrying unresolved emotional burdens. They're dragging psychological weights from previous chapters of their lives. They remain stuck in past disappointments, rejections, or failures. Let's be honest. If someone betrayed your trust, if a relationship ended painfully, if you faced public failure, these experiences leave marks. but continuing to center your identity around past wounds makes moving forward impossible. Consider someone who experienced a business failure. Every time they consider starting a new venture, their mind automatically replays the previous collapse. What's the point? I'll just fail again. So instead of taking action, they scroll through social media, watching others build what they themselves deeply desire to create. Or think about someone whose parent constantly criticized their intelligence. Now, decades later, whenever they attempt learning something new, a familiar voice whispers, "You're not smart enough for this." The easiest response? Abandon the challenge before facing potential confirmation of that fear. This isn't laziness, it's emotional self-protection, but protection that ultimately prevents growth. You must acknowledge, you are not defined by your past experiences. You can honor your journey while refusing to remain trapped by it. Healing takes time, but it begins with recognizing that your history shaped you without determining your future. Consider speaking with a professional. Journal your feelings. Practice self-compassion. But most importantly, take small, consistent steps forward while carrying these emotional experiences. Don't wait until they disappear completely before beginning your journey. 8. The power of decisive moments. One pervasive myth suggests that transformation requires months or years before results appear. The truth? While lasting change does require sustained effort, transformation begins in a single, decisive moment. You don't need to wait for a special date. You don't need new equipment or perfect circumstances. You need one powerful decision made right now, followed by immediate action. There's a woman named Maya who spent years caught in a cycle of procrastination and regret. She wanted to write a novel but never found the right time. One ordinary Tuesday afternoon, sitting in her car after yet another unfulfilling workday, she finally declared, "No more excuses. I'm writing my first page today." That evening, she wrote 300 imperfect words. The next morning, she woke up 20 minutes earlier and wrote 300 more. Within 6 months, her manuscript was complete. The transformation wasn't about finding more time. It was about making a decision that this goal mattered more than temporary comfort. This video, this exact moment, could be your turning point. Not because the content is particularly special, but because you decide it will be. Declare it now. I am no longer someone who waits. I am someone who acts. 9. Reset your sleep foundation. Many attribute their lack of progress to insufficient willpower when the real issue is inadequate rest. Your sleep quality directly determines your daytime energy, focus, and emotional regulation. Imagine this scenario. You stay up until 2 a.m. browsing social media. You wake feeling groggy and immediately reach for your phone, scrolling while still in bed. Your morning moves in slow motion. By midday, you're relying on caffeine and sugar to function. Even simple tasks feel overwhelming. You label yourself unmotivated when you're actually sleep-deprived. Now consider this alternative. You're asleep by 10:30 p.m. and awake by 6:30 a.m. You begin your day with natural light, movement, and hydration. Your mind feels clear. Tasks that previously seemed daunting now appear manageable. You have energy reserves for unexpected challenges. To transform your sleep, eliminate screen exposure 1 hour before bed. Create a consistent sleep-wake schedule, even on weekends. Make your bedroom slightly cool and completely dark. Avoid heavy meals before bedtime. Limit caffeine after midday. Quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's the foundation upon which all other positive habits are built. 10. Reconnect with your purpose. Sometimes what appears as lack of motivation is actually disconnection from deeper meaning. You mechanically move through tasks without feeling inspired. You know what you should do but lack the emotional drive to follow through. This happens when you've lost touch with your why, the underlying purpose that gives your efforts significance beyond the immediate outcome. Consider this story. A young man leaves his small hometown to pursue education in a distant city. Initially, he studies diligently, remembering how his family sacrificed to provide this opportunity. But gradually, surrounded by peers with different values, facing unexpected challenges, his connection to that original purpose fades. He begins skipping classes. His grades decline. From outside, it appears he's become unmotivated or lazy. But internally, he's lost his emotional anchor. He's forgotten why this journey matters. Then one day, he receives a package from home. Inside is a handwritten letter describing how his younger siblings look up to him, how his community celebrates his progress. Suddenly, his purpose crystallizes again. His actions gain renewed meaning beyond just completing assignments. Take time to reconnect with your core motivation. Write it down with emotional specificity. Why does your goal truly matter? Who are you becoming through this process? How does your growth impact others? Review this purpose statement daily, especially when motivation wavers. Remember, when purpose is clear, obstacles become merely challenges to overcome, not reasons to quit. 11. Movement precedes motivation. Here's a counterintuitive truth. You don't need to feel motivated to begin. Beginning generates motivation. Your physical state profoundly influences your mental state. Think about someone who's been unemployed for months. Each day follows the same pattern. Wake late, remain in pajamas, scroll through job listings without applying. Their mind tells them they need to feel ready before taking action. But that feeling never arrives because their physical state reinforces lethargy. Now imagine this person decides to experiment. One morning, they shower immediately upon waking. They dress professionally, even with nowhere to go. They sit at a proper desk instead of their bed. They take a brisk 15-minute walk outside. Something shifts. Their posture improves. Their thinking clarifies. Their perception of themselves transforms. That afternoon, they submit 5 job applications. Not because some magical motivation appeared, but because their physical actions created psychological momentum. Your assignment. When motivation feels absent, focus on changing your physical state first. Stand up straight. Breathe deeply. Move your body vigorously for even 5 minutes. Step outside. Change your clothes. Your mind will follow where your body leads. 12. The identity narrative trap. The stories we tell ourselves shape our behavior more powerfully than most realize. When you repeatedly think or say phrases like, "I've always been disorganized," or "I'm just not a morning person," or "I never finish what I start," you're not merely describing reality, you're actively creating it. These narratives become self-fulfilling prophecies. Your brain organizes your behavior to maintain consistency with your stated identity, even when that identity limits your potential. Here's the good news. You can intentionally reshape these narratives. Instead of, "I'm disorganized," try, "I'm developing better systems." Instead of, "I always quit," try, "I'm learning consistency through this project." Instead of, "I'm lazy," try, "I'm building my capacity for focused effort." This isn't empty positive thinking. It's strategic identity reconstruction. Your brain naturally works to maintain coherence between your self-concept and your actions. When you reframe your identity as someone who is becoming rather than someone who is fixed, you create psychological space for growth. Monitor your self-talk closely. Challenge limiting narratives. Replace fixed statements with growth-oriented alternatives. Your words create your reality more than you might realize. 13. The illusion of social media perfection, social comparison, has existed throughout human history, but social media has amplified it to unprecedented levels. You're no longer just comparing yourself to your immediate community. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to the highlight reels of millions. You see the entrepreneur announcing their successful exit, but not the 6 failed ventures before it. You see the fitness model's sculpted physique, but not the years of consistent training. You see the writer celebrating their book launch, but not the 500 rejection letters preceding it. This creates a distorted perception where exceptional outcomes seem commonplace and overnight success appears normal. When your own journey includes struggle, setbacks, and slow progress, you mistakenly conclude something is wrong with your approach or your capabilities. The truth? Success is messy for everyone. Achievement is nonlinear. Behind every overnight success lies years of invisible effort. Practical step: audit your social media consumption. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison or inadequacy. Follow those who share both struggles and successes. Better yet, reduce screen time altogether and redirect that energy toward creating your own progress. Remember, while others are crafting perfect online personas, you can be building something. Real de 14, the environment of growth. Your social environment influences your behavior as powerfully as your physical space. The people you regularly interact with shape your standards, beliefs, and actions, often unconsciously. If you're surrounded by individuals who dismiss ambitious goals, prioritize immediate gratification, or ridicule self-improvement efforts, you're swimming against a powerful current. Their attitudes silently erode your resolve. Consider someone trying to build a business while their closest friends mock entrepreneurship, or someone attempting dietary changes while their partner brings home their previous temptation foods, or someone practicing early morning routines while their roommates create noise until 2 a.m. This isn't about blaming others. It's about recognizing reality. Environments matter. Sometimes what appears as personal failure is actually environmental mismatch. You have several options. Communicate your goals and request support. Limit exposure to unsupportive influences. Actively seek communities aligned with your aspirations. Create boundaries around your growth practices. You don't need to eliminate relationships, but you must protect your aspirations from persistent negative influence. You have permission to outgrow environments that constrain your potential. 15. External focus versus internal creation. In our hyper-connected era, we've developed an unprecedented habit, spending more time observing others' lives than creating our own. Hours vanish watching strangers' travel adventures, relationship milestones, professional achievements, and lifestyle displays. This passive consumption creates 2 problems. First, it steals time that could be invested in your own development. Second, it fosters a subtle belief that life happens out there, rather than through your direct action. You scroll through travel content instead of planning your own adventure. You watch cooking videos instead of improving your cooking skills. You follow fitness journeys instead of beginning your own. You become a spectator of life rather than an active participant. Challenge yourself. For 1 week, track how much time you spend consuming others' content versus creating something of your own. Then, gradually shift that ratio. Reduce consumption by 25% and redirect that time toward active creation, whether that's writing, skill building, movement practice, or relationship development. Life expands through creation, not consumption. Your story deserves to be lived, not just scrolled past on someone else's feed. 16. Personalized productivity. Productivity isn't one size fits all. Yet many abandon their growth efforts because they're attempting to follow systems designed for different personalities, circumstances, or natural rhythms. Not everyone thrives with pre-dawn wake-ups. Not everyone performs optimally in minimalist environments. Not everyone processes information the same way. Forcing yourself into a productivity approach that contradicts your natural tendencies creates unnecessary resistance. The most sustainable system is the one aligned with your authentic preferences and patterns. Perhaps you're naturally more focused in evening hours. Maybe you think better while moving rather than sitting still. Perhaps you process information visually rather than through text. Experiment to discover your unique productivity profile. Test different working times, environments, and methods. Notice when you naturally enter flow states. Build your system around these discoveries rather than fighting against your nature. True productivity isn't about forcing yourself to work like someone else. It's about optimizing your environment and schedule to work harmoniously with who you already are. 17. Celebration as strategy. Most people focus exclusively on outcome-based rewards. When I reach my goal weight, I'll buy new clothes, or when I finish this project, I'll take a vacation. This approach places all satisfaction at the end of a long journey, leaving the daily process feeling like mere obligation. Sustainable habits require immediate positive reinforcement. Your brain needs to associate the behavior itself with positive emotions, not just the distant outcome. After completing a challenging task, take 30 seconds to acknowledge your effort. After a week of consistent progress, schedule something enjoyable. After pushing through resistance, verbally recognize your growth. These aren't indulgences. They're strategic reinforcement. They build neural pathways connecting positive feelings to positive behaviors, making repetition more likely. Importantly, these celebrations should be conscious and intentional. Don't just mechanically reward yourself. Pause to genuinely acknowledge the significance of your consistency, effort, and growth. The emotional component matters as much as the reward itself. When you celebrate progress rather than just perfection, the journey itself becomes inherently rewarding. 18. The waiting trap. At the heart of procrastination lies a seductive illusion, the belief that your future self will somehow possess motivation, discipline, and energy that your present self lacks. You tell yourself, I'll start when I feel more inspired, or I'll begin when life settles down, or I'll commit when I have more resources. This waiting game can consume years, even decades. There are people who have been about to start for their entire adult lives, always convinced that next month or next year will finally provide the perfect conditions. The uncomfortable truth? External conditions will never align perfectly. Motivation doesn't arrive through waiting. The gap between knowing and doing is bridged only through action. Imperfect, immediate action. Many great achievements began with someone taking a single step while feeling completely unprepared. The author who wrote one paragraph while exhausted. The entrepreneur who made one call while uncertain. The artist who sketched one rough concept while doubtful. Your challenge: identify one meaningful action you've been postponing. Something small but significant. Now, before this video ends, commit to completing that action within 24 hours. Not because you suddenly feel ready, but because waiting has never moved you forward. 19. The integration process. Transformation isn't about dramatic overhauls. It's about integrating small positive behaviors until they become automatic parts of your identity. Most people attempt too many changes simultaneously. They try to redesign their entire life in a week, burning through willpower reserves and quickly reverting to previous patterns. Instead, focus on sequential integration. Choose one keystone habit, a single behavior that naturally supports other positive changes. For many, this might be consistent sleep patterns, daily movement, or a morning routine. Master this one element before adding another. The process. Select one habit. Practice it daily for at least 2 weeks. Once it feels relatively automatic, add a second habit while maintaining the first. Continue this sequential integration, building a network of supportive behaviors over time. This approach requires patience, but produces sustainable results. Rather than forcing change through sheer willpower, you're gradually rewiring your default settings. 20. The ultimate question. As we conclude, I want to pose one question that cuts through all distractions. What kind of life are you creating with your daily choices? Each day, through hundreds of small decisions, you are actively designing your future reality. The habits you practice, the thoughts you entertain, the people you engage with, the skills you develop, these aren't just passing activities. They are the building blocks of your life. 5 years from now, you will become the natural result of your current daily patterns. This isn't philosophy, it's practical reality. The foods you consistently consume become your physical health. The thoughts you regularly entertain become your mindset. The skills you repeatedly practice become your capabilities. Look honestly at your existing habits. Do they align with the future you desire? Are they creating momentum toward meaningful goals or merely maintaining comfortable patterns? You have extraordinary potential, not because you're special, but because you're human. The capacity for transformation exists within you right now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances improve. Now. Begin with one small action. Make it so simple failure seems impossible. Complete it today. Then tomorrow. Then the next day. Watch as consistency creates compound interest in your life. Your transformation story has already begun with the decision to engage with this message. The only remaining question is whether you'll continue writing it through deliberate, consistent action or hand the pen back to chance and circumstance. The choice, as always, belongs entirely to you. And before you go, if you want to transform your life while mastering English through authentic, powerful content, subscribe to Avenue of Words. We're not just another English channel, we're a community dedicated to growth, understanding, and meaningful communication. We learn language by exploring life's deepest truths. Don't miss our next video. Your journey toward fluency and personal development continues with each step. I'll be here supporting your progress in both language and life. Now go begin. One small habit at a time. You absolutely can do this.